Zehr, and I'm a moderator. I run the Cochise County, Arizona Veterans uh, Facebook group page. And Kathy reached out to me and said, "Hey, would you like to do a streaming for us?" And I said, "Sure, I'll give it a shot." So this is my first time, and Kevin McFadden here was nice enough to volunteer to be the first person up for me. And thank you for doing that, Kevin.
Oh, no problem.
And I'm going to ask Kevin what organization he works at and ask him a few questions about the organization and the kind of work he does. So, Kevin?
Yeah, so I'm a veteran workforce specialist with Arizona at Work here. We cover Cochise County, Graham and Greenlee County, and Santa Cruz County. Basically, we assist veterans with finding employment, career guidance, getting them to the resources they need, and we'll help them resume writing, we'll teach them job interviewing skills, and try and get them. We try and get them to what we call gainful and measurable employment. I mean, if they want to work at Circle K, that's great, but that's not the end game. You know,
Right.
we want that career.
Okay. And how do they get a hold of you? If I'm taking the veteran, if they're interested in wanting to get into the program, your contact information?
So you call us at area code 520-458-9309, or one of us is here at the Warrior Healing Center, 1838 Paseo San Luis, Monday through Friday, basically 0900 to 1600. So you can just walk in and say hi.
What kind of jobs are available? Since when you mentioned the end goal is not like Circle K, I mean, what type of jobs are available?
So here in Cochise County, the labor market is really fairly educated labor market. I mean, we have, as you know, I mean, if we don't have the active duty and the retirees, we don't have a community here. So everything is
Right.
built to support that. But for as far as Department of Defense and the contracting, you have the cybersecurity, the intelligence community. We do still have the UAV programs. We have medical is huge here because of the large retiree population. Education, and then honestly, retail's the big thing. You know,
Okay.
the retail and including, you know, if you take hospitality, retail, and food services, those kind of fall into that same type of career set.
So, for an example, let's say like I have no medical background, no medical experience,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm interested in working in that field, and I would come to you. Would they give you some kind of job training for that, or are you only allowed to apply for the jobs that you're qualified for? How does that work?
So basically, what our job is to get you job ready. So if you say, let's say you want to become a certified or a registered nurse, right?
Okay.
And we go, okay, so let's take a look at your education. Obviously, we're going to look at your skill set, and go, okay, so this is the training you're going to need. This is a certification education you're going to need before
Okay.
you get in. Now, if you had like an administrative background, you could get hired on as like a scheduler up at the hospital, or or front desk clerk. But what we would do is, like here in Sierra Vista, because Arizona at Work is located at the Cochise College Downtown Center, that's where the
Okay.
nursing program is. So we go, okay, you need to get with the college, find out what prerequisites you have to complete before you can get accepted into the program. Then we would have you go ahead and apply for federal financial aid. And then if you get accepted into the nursing program, we would refer you to one side of our house, which is called Title I, Education and Training. And if you qualify, they go ahead and they use a federal grant to pay.
So there are grants available.
There are grants, yeah.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, it's one of the top. Matter of fact, I think the three biggest that our grants pay for is truck drivers, because there's a huge shortage, cybersecurity, because there's a huge need here for the certifications, and then nursing.
And there's jobs statewide, right? Not, I mean, you're trying to get Cochise County veterans employed,
Yeah.
but I mean, if they're willing to relocate, that is an option. Is
Well,
that correct?
absolutely. And let's say they want to relocate to Phoenix. I have counterparts up in Phoenix that I'm going to get them connected to because I don't know Phoenix. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't live
Right.
there. So I'm going to get them to the expert who can help them find that position.
Can you give us a little bit of information about how Arizona at Work got started and what was the idea behind it? Well, obviously, the idea behind it is to
Yeah.
get Arizonans working, duh. But please go ahead.
So I don't remember when on the workforce development, really started. But I will say the latest update was the Workforce Opportunity Investment Act, and what it did was you had all these different entities. The Title I, the education and training, was
Right.
here in Sierra Vista, was across town. The jobs people were at another side of town. Vocational rehabilitation for the state was across town, and so the law that was enacted, and this was it was during the Obama administration, put all those resources under one house,
Okay.
and so we have all the partners right there in one place. So when I'm sitting down with a veteran and asking those, it's demographics questions. I can find out what barriers to employment.
Wow.
If you want to switch career fields, but you've been great in this career field, you actually have a barrier to employment because you're trying to go a different route and you may
Right.
need training. And then some people want to stay in that lane, but they may need additional training. Especially like in the cybersecurity. If you don't keep up with your certifications, those contractors will let you go. It's required by DoD for certain certifications. But the whole concept is really for, at least on the veteran side, is we want you making a good living. We want you happy. We take into considerations if a veteran has PTSD, anxiety, and they say, well, I want to work at a call center. And we go, well, you sure you want to do that? Yeah. So we try and guide them as best we can.
Another thing I'm kind of interested in is when we talked about it a little bit before yesterday, you had mentioned that eventually you were going to be looking for the civilian side. So does that mean like right now, can a veterans dependent also come in and get any kind of assistance right now, or is this strictly for veterans at this stage?
So everyone can get assistance at Arizona at Work. I can only work with veterans.
You can only work with veterans. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's basically the same services. It's just that a veteran working with a veteran and being able to communicate with each other and understand that military life.
Right.
And we've been trained how to what they call the MOS crosswalk. So, take infantry and turn it into something that's not infantry for employment purposes.
Okay.
So that's why we specialize with the veteran client.
So if we have a veteran spouse or dependent that's listening right now, how could you direct them, or where could you direct them to get assistance through Arizona at Work? Is there a different number that they can call, or a website or something?
Same number, 520-458-9309. And the office is located 2600 East Wilcox Drive.
Okay.
So, and you can, Monday through Thursday, 8 o'clock to 5 p.m. You just walk in. If you want to call and make an appointment, they'll do that as well.
Another thing that when Kathy asked me to do this, I was like, I would really enjoy interviewing veterans because I love listening to their stories. They all have unique experiences and backgrounds. And I should have asked you this before putting you on camera, but would you mind sharing a little bit about your military experience?
Yeah, so I joined the Air Force in 1993. Retired in 2013. I was what we call aviation resource manager, so operations admin.
Okay.
But I guess my claim to fame and my favorite part of my career was I spent 10 years at Tyndall Air Force Base scheduling fighter testing over the Gulf of Mexico. So
where is that?
That's down there, Panama City, Florida, the Gulf.
Oh, okay. All right.
Lower Alabama, a lot of us call it that. And But basically, we would bring in every fighter squadron in the free world, load them up with air-to-air missiles, load the guns. When they were doing gunnery days, they would shoot at a banner towed by a Learjet. And then when they were shooting the live missiles, we would have the remote control F4 Phantoms out there, so
Okay.
unmanned, and they would shoot a missile that didn't have a warhead; it had a telemetry kit, and so that our scientists and engineers in our vault could determine how effective the missile was, because
Oh, really?
because it was very you didn't want to shoot down the F4 because we wanted to fly again. You know, it saved money, but is the missile close enough to what they call fuse and do enough damage if it exploded, you know, to take out that aircraft? And then what they do is they rewrite tactics based on what happened. Because when you tell Raytheon or Lockheed we want a missile that does this, that's what you get. And then of course the military has to test it to see, well, can it do this? You know, so that was awesome for 10 years.
So when you retired, what base were you at? You were in Florida?
No, I was at Davis-Monthan.
Oh, you retired at Davis-Monthan. Because that was going to be my next question. How did you end up in Arizona?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, we moved out here in '86. My dad got stationed here, and I left in '93 to go get some skills, because it's tough being, I was 22 when I left, but, you know, not a whole lot of upward mobility for a 22-year-old with no real skills. So I had to go venture out to get some.
Well, Kevin, I can't thank you enough for sitting down with me today. I really appreciate this. The idea behind this, again, is to get veterans to come in and talk about their career. We'd like to get veteran-owned businesses in and talk about what they're doing. And one of the things that I forgot to ask you is the services. Is there a fee for your services?
No, everything we do is free.
Free, because when you come to the Warrior Healing Center, every service that they provide the veteran is free to you. There's no charge. The only thing that costs you is your time, you know? And I myself, I don't work here. I come down and I volunteer. I like to help out when I'm asked. And I think that the Warrior Healing Center is doing a lot of great things down here for veterans.
Yeah.
There's so many things that are going on. And if anybody has any questions, you know, please feel free to reach out to them. They've got a website. Let me see if I can look it up here. Or do you happen to know what it is offhand? No,
it's Warrior Healing Center something.
Well, because some people don't do Facebook, and I should have had this information ahead of time. I'm sorry about that. But let me just use the old Google here, because I do know that they have a website. You can go to Facebook. If you do have Facebook, you can go on Facebook, look up Warrior Healing Center, and obviously, if you're watching this, you've probably already done that. Okay, their website is, I believe you're right, I think it is warriorhealingcenter.com. I should have had this ahead of time. Because it's saying here, that's the Facebook page. Yes, https://www.warriorhealingcenter.com is their website. And like I said, they're just doing so many great things down here for veterans, and it's free to you. And is there anything else that you'd like to add or talk about?
I do recommend, if you are on Facebook, if you follow the Warrior Healing Center, that's where most of the updates are going to come through. You're going to see where the events are. I think that's the easiest way.
Okay. And I do know that in the group that I help moderate, it's the Cochise County Veterans Facebook group page. If you're not a member and you're doing Facebook and you'd like to join, please put in a request. And the goal of the group is to get information out to veterans, let you know what's going on in our community. Warrior Healing Center, Kathy and Beth post quite a few links about events that are happening here at the center. And there's just so much going on. They do bagels and brew. They're back to doing that now once a month.
Yeah.
Their next one's coming up in May. I didn't get the date, but when I get that, I'll find out, and I'll put that out next week. Excuse me. Also, I just wanted to put out this Saturday. I don't know if anybody is a member of the Disabled American Veterans or not, but we have a local chapter here, Chapter 14, and they're having a meeting this Saturday, and it is they're doing it in person too. It's at 2600 East Wilcox Drive, and they are in the building that is the old hospital. What is it?
Yeah,
the community?
Cochise College downtown.
Thank you. That's what it is. And that meeting will be this Saturday at 1 p.m. So if you'd like to have some information about that, you can, I'll give you my email address. I'll be glad to get that out to you. It's Mike, M-I-K-E, Zehr, Z-E-H-R, at msn.com. And I'm pretty vigilant about responding to my emails and the group. And one last thing, I don't have a name for my show, and I was going over all different kinds of names. I was thinking, well, Veterans Viewpoint, and I thought, well, no, that's going to sound opinionated. Veterans View, that too sounds opinionated. I thought about Veterans Voice. So I'm asking you for any suggestions that you might have for the name of my show. And if I pick your suggestion, I will buy you lunch of your choosing. I think that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah,
you know,
that's great.
So I couldn't come up with anything, and I've been racking my brain trying to think of different, names to come up with. And this is the first time I'm doing this, so hopefully every Friday at 9 when I'm doing this, I'll start getting a little bit more at ease, a little bit more comfortable doing this. But I got to say, Kevin, thank you so much for coming in and sitting down and doing this with me and making me feel welcome and at ease. And I got to tell you one last thing. I know I keep saying that, and I yammer. I know Kevin, but I didn't know that was his name. I met him a couple times at Bagels and Brew and stuff, and he's a very nice gentleman. So, Kevin, thank you again for coming in, and I appreciate your time, and I appreciate everybody out there. I appreciate your service to our country. And again, please reach out to me on email if you have any questions. And that about does it. Thanks.